Hello, everyone. Good to see you. And my name is Alina Wilson with Estimate Mastery. As you can see over there, that we are no longer Xactimate Mastery. We have done our full rebrand and we are now Estimate Mastery. We have a new website coming soon and a really cool training coming up in August. So we'll talk more as we get closer to like August 18th is when we're going to start a 4-part video series. But today, what we're going to talk about is the fastest way to handwrite an estimate. All right, so there are many different ways you can write estimates. I'm going to show you the really bad way, and then I'm going to show you the really fast way. So super excited to be here with you. And also, if you stay to the end, I do have a PDF that we're going to be giving out. It's more like an infographic that will give you the most commonly used line items, so you can start to do this for yourself. And again, very excited to be here. If you don't know me, I train contractors how to use Xactimate, so you stop leaving money behind and start getting paid for the work that you are doing. And it's an exciting time because, again, going through a rebrand, going to be releasing a new free training in August. So excited to be here. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll just jump right in. We're going to be talking about what is called category and selector codes. And most contractors, when I start to work with them, they don't have any clue what they are, what the categories are, what the selector codes are. And they're usually building estimates like this. So let me just share my screen here. There we go. Usually what I find is that you're going up to the search bar right here. So I'm already in an estimate and I'm already in estimate items and I'm building this estimate. I've got a roof here. I've imported the Eagle view so you can see the measurements. This is the roof that we're dealing with here. And we're going to the estimate items screen and clicking on that roof. You can see that little mini diagram. And so what I find most people doing is they go and they start typing. Okay, let's see. What do I need? I need shingles. So they'll type that in. And a nice little laundry list will come down here in your, these are, what would you call them? Recommended items is what Xactware built this line item sheet as. So recommended items will show up. And so you search for what you need. Yeah, I need some laminate shingles. Let's see here. There they are, laminated. And oh, wait, that's just the tear off. Where's the replacement? So all that to say, building your estimate using this right here, this search bar, will take you years. And most people that whenever I start to work with them, they are working off of this search and then building their whole estimate. Could be, even 10 line items. It's going to take me like 15 minutes to figure out in this search bar what I should be searching for, right? Now, there's, of course, a better way, which is why I'm here with you tonight. And I would not advocate, using the search bar to write your estimate. There is a lot easier and faster way, and that's using what are called category and selector codes. The CAT and SEL codes that are very useful. If you can memorize them, you're going to write estimates. I mean, they're going to fly off your desk. So again, if you stay to the end, I've got a giveaway tonight, or if you're watching the replay, you can download the most commonly used category and selector codes for the roofing exterior and interior. We have a list for you that you can start to learn these. So what are they? Well, if you go right in here, so in the quick entry screen is what this is called, there's a CAT field. And if I drop that down, you've got a whole host of all the trades that are located on the 18,000 plus line item list. They've partitioned them into different trades so that it would be easier for you to find, easier for the programmers to program. So let's say I'm looking for roofing. You can actually search. Not many people know this either. Anywhere in Xactimate where you see a little pencil eraser there, can you guys see that? That means that's the search bar. You can use these areas to search. So search for roofing, if you work in hazardous removal, whatever you work in, painting. It becomes pretty logical though to learn your categories. So the CAT code, when we say that, we're just talking about the trade. What trade are you looking for? What line item are you looking for? Well, I'm looking for shingles. That's probably going to be in the roofing trade. So I'm going to choose that there, hit my enter key. And then Xactimate will move my cursor over to the SEL field, the selector code. Now, selector codes are a little bit less logical, and there's a lot of them. So what I like to do is have you start to search. If you're trying to find something, think about what trade it would be in. then go over to the selector code list and you can actually hit your enter key. And again, that will open up a search area because we have that pencil eraser. What does the pencil eraser mean in Xactimate? It means you can search. So we can search here. If you're not, if you're just getting to know Xactimate, you can type in shingle and you can peruse the whole list of what shingles are available. So if I can have you stop using this reference search up here, or the search, it's just like a recommended search is really what it is. That's looking across all 18,000 line items, right? If I can get you to stop searching 18,000 line items and contain it into a category like a trade, that's what the categories are, you'll find you're going to get to the line item you need a lot faster. A lot faster. So going to that selector code area there, again, I can hit my enter key. And now when I search vent, I only pull up the vents that are in the shingle category. I'm not pulling up siding vents or dryer vents or any of that other stuff. It's contained into that roofing category. So already this should save you a ton of time just learning how to search properly using that partition search. We choose the category that we want or the trade that we're working in and then searching that way. But what really speeds up the process is when you start to memorize all of your category and selector codes that you use day after day after day. I guarantee that most of you pretty much write in the same trades. You're writing estimates in the same trades day in, day out. And therefore, you're probably entering the same list of line items all the time, taking hours and hours of doing that, when if you learn the category and selector codes, it makes it so much easier. And so you will hear me talk about what are called macros. Macros are just a fancy way of saying lists of line items. In fact, here's all the macros that I have on file. I build lots of macros. But whenever I'm working in the insurance space as a contractor, writing estimates to counter what the adjuster is throwing at me, even if you're an adjuster, it's the same. You could take have a takeaway from this as well. A macro doesn't serve me when I'm trying to talk to the adjuster after insurance paperwork has already been submitted. Meaning, if the homeowner or property owner already has a first check, there's usually an estimate from the insurance company that accompanies that first check. And therefore, I have paperwork that the adjuster has already written. When I have paperwork that the adjuster's already written, the macros don't serve me because I want to write that estimate, what he's already paid for, in a way that it's his same order as the adjuster. So it looks like a carbon copy. Then I'm going to ask for my line items. I don't want to talk about these, Mr. Adjuster. I only want to talk about these. And it helps with the communication process so much. I used to own a third-party supplementing company for a few years. And the main takeaway in that, when we split tested estimates, do we put them in a supplement folder? Do we just submit supplements? What's going to work here? The way that I write estimates knocked it out of the park. And I was able to supplement over $460,000 in supplement funds alone in 1 year for one company in Colorado. Okay, so I know what I teach works because we've tested all this stuff. All right. So anyhow, let's get back to the meat and potatoes. So when I have insurance paperwork in front of me, for the most part, in most cases, probably anywhere from 80 to 90% of cases, I'm going to be recreating that original adjuster's estimate for ease of conversation, basically, at the end of the day. So to do that, let's say we had 4 or 5 line items on the adjuster's estimate. Let's say he wrote for the RFG, and then I know my category and selector codes, and they actually use the RMV for the removal. And then I have an Eagle View preloaded. So all I have to do is type in that category and selector code, the RFG, and I know my ARMV greater sign is going to remove the laminated. All I have to do is type in those letters. Let me just do this one more time for you. RFG, ARV, and then the greater sign, and hit my enter key because I've got my Eagle View already loaded. So I don't have to type in any quantities. It's going to key off the Eagle View, right? So let's do our replacement. That's going to be RFG 300S because he wrote without felt. And then I'm going to tab over to the activity code, use my keyboard. By the way, that's another huge tip in Xactimate. The more you can use your keyboard to write your estimate and not touch your mouse, you're going to save. I mean, even if it's seconds, they turn into minutes, it turned into hours, it turned into days on the beach. All right. So I'm going to save you as much time as I can. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm always going to write most of the estimate in the estimate item screen, at least, with my keyboard. So I tabbed over. I've got my replacement only. I don't need remove and replace because the first line item is it's the replacement, right? And then I hit my enter key. That's done. All right, now he paid for some drip edge. And right now they're only paying for the replacement of drip edge. So already my category or my variable for the P for perimeter is already filled out. So I've got my quantity, hit my enter key. He paid for some ice and water shield. Now I fat fingered that one. There we go, RFG. And then we're going to go ice and water shield. And this one we do have to enter the calculation because Xactimate doesn't know, according to the Eagle view, well, we're getting there, but not yet with AI, is that it doesn't know if it needs a 3-foot, course or a 6-foot course of ice and water shield. So let's say we're going to do 6, and then we can multiply by the eve. So I can do my calculations here and hit the enter key. There we go. That was a very generous adjuster. Most adjusters don't pay straight off the bat, the ice and water shield. Some do. And then let's see, what's one last one? Let's do ridge vent. So vent R, and we're going to get, it's not going to be the full ridge usually. So let's say it's ridge minus, I don't know, 8 feet, just to give that the ends of the roof, the gable ends of the roof, or the hip ends, and hit my enter key. All right. So just like that, I've only been with you 11 minutes. I only spent about the last minute and a half writing that estimate, and I'm done. Right. That's how you get really fast and write estimates really correctly, because now I'm keyed into the insurance paperwork. I know what the adjuster is doing. That's also why I like to recreate the original statement of loss, the original insurance paperwork, is because it keys me into what did they pay for. Now I can go look at the photos and I can see, holy cow, they didn't add ridge, starter, detach and reset of the 2 dishes that are on the roof. We've got all of our pipe jacks, furnace vent, yada, yada, yada. That's what I'm looking for here is a steep and high charge. They have some cornice returns. All that goes below these line items because that's all I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about these 5 line items. I don't have any discrepancy. They paid pretty well. That's fine. We can accept that, but then you've missed these other 10 line items, right? But to write that estimate, to have a macro do that, you would have to add the macro. So I have 65, 68 items on my macro, which is a fancy way of saying lists of line items. I would have to add that, delete off the 63 items I don't need, move them around into this order. I would have already written the estimate by using my category and selector codes, right? So that's why they're so powerful. And I really love teaching people about category and selector codes. And then if you're joining us just now, I was talking about how it's such a time waste to enter, try to find things in this recommended search, that if you use the categories to search, whether you're in mitigation, interior rebuild, or just exteriors, searching within your category saves a ton of time. It also helps you learn, like, what kind of vents are in Xactimate? I don't know. Let's go search. You might find new line items this way. It's kind of cool. So knowing your categories is amazing, but taking one step further and learning your selector codes will serve you even more. So that's what I would say. I know pretty much everything that I need to know in roofing, paint, drywall, and siding, soffit, fascia, gutters. Those are my categories. And I know most of the selector codes that I use all the time. However, I will search. I will pull up that category and go take a look and search for what I need. So you have that option if needed. Now, I promise those of you that stayed on to the end that you're going to get a free giveaway tonight, which is going to be our PDF. If you're watching the replay, you can also do this as well. So if you text the number 385-388-0954, you text the word FAST to that number, we will reply with a little bot that will ask for your email, and then it'll email you the PDF. So this is kind of the fastest way we've found, because we have people watching over on YouTube and Facebook. So we can serve both of these audiences, that if you do the text opt-in, we will send you a list of the most commonly used line items. And therefore you can print that out, have that at your desk, and start to work off of that. So if you want to get started today doing this, I would start today. Maybe tomorrow, maybe you need a break. We need a Taco Tuesday night. I get you. But you want to get to learning these as soon as you can, because it really helps you understand how Xactimate works, how it was designed, and just it'll serve you in building estimates and making you really fast. So just if you just hopped on and you're here at the tail end, that's fine. you can go get my giveaway. It's a PDF of the most commonly used line items, so you can start to learn your category and selector codes. And then, of course, if you have any questions, I have changed my email address. It is Alina@Estimate Mastery. So if you need to reach out, you have questions on this or just questions in general, we're here for you. So if you want to take a look at that, Alina@estimatemastery.com. And let me just put the ticker back over here once more, and you can text in tonight. So thanks for being here. I usually try to keep these short and sweet for you. And I'll be back next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central. So I will, of course, have something else I'm going to be training you on. Not sure yet, but you will get, if you've signed up for the notifications, you should, I think, get a notification of what we're talking about next week. So I hope you guys have a great week in your business. And I'll see you next week with something else fun and exciting in Xactimate. So